with liberty and justice for all.
I acknowledge and make notice and posted properly. I will now read the certified list of duly elected board members. Paul Mullard, Mario Loretti, Jamie Francis, Larry Young, William Thomas, Roy Kager, Doug Swartz, Carl Crawl, Patrick Hansen, Scott Erickson, Richard Bowes, Karen Lauer, Roxanne Luchin, Tanner Hillard, and Kurt Wolf. Roll call, Hager.
Here.
Schwartz.
Here.
Crawl.
Here.
Hanson.
Here.
Erickson.
Here.
Bose. Lauer.
Here.
Luchin.
Here.
Hiller.
Here.
Wolf.
Here.
Muller.
Here.
Loretti.
Here.
Francis.
Here.
Youngs.
Here.
Thomas.
Here.
Okay. Sorry, I skipped one, didn't I? All right, so now if you would all like to stand and raise your right hands. And you can repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Fred Erickson,
Having been elected
Having been elected
to the office of county supervisor,
to the office of county supervisor,
but have not yet entered upon the duties therefore,
and I have entered upon the duties therefore,
swear or affirm
swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United
and
States
the Constitution of the state of Wisconsin,
and the Constitution of the state of Wisconsin,
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of said office to the best of my ability.
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of said office to the best of my abilities.
So help me God.
So help me God.
And if you can sign it, then afterwards I can collect them. Okay, since I screwed up now. Now the election of a board chair.
I'd like to nominate Larry Youngs. I'll support.
All right, so now the question is, do you want to, but after, do we do it with these or do you want to just do it with a vote? I don't know how you guys have done it
So
in
you
the
have to
past.
say it 3 times.
Yeah.
Right,
And then if there's
And then
only
we'll
one,
go
then we'll make a
nominations.
motion to handle that there's only one. If there was another
more
person,
than you would do this.
then we would vote.
Gotcha. Sorry, first order you on that one.
You gonna say it, Scotty? I'll get it.
So then
I'll
ask
get
if
it.
there's any other,
Yes. Okay.
any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations?
I'll move nominations be closed and a unanimous ballot be cast for Larry Murph Youngs for board chairman.
I second that.
We need to do a roll call.
Oh, no, you go all in favor if you want, because it's a unanimous motion.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Who opposed? Just in case.
Anybody opposed? Okay.
Okay, first off, I'd like to thank the members of this board for choosing me to chair it. It will be my honor and my privilege to serve this board. I will do my best to keep you informed of all the information that is given to me, the clerk, and the committee members. So when we meet and vote on matters brought before this board, we are all fully informed. And with that being said, I'd like to set the table for this board. Need nominations for a vice chair.
I'll nominate Kurt Wolf for
Second.
vice chair.
Second. Is there any other nominations? Is there any other nominations? Will there be any other nominations?
I'll make a motion, we close nominations and a unanimous ballot be cast for Kurt Wolf.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Okay, the next thing is election of the highway committee. There's,
I nominate Scott Erickson.
do I have any other nominations?
I'd like to nominate Tanner Giller.
Okay, there's 5 seats. So, you wanna nominate him right now?
Oh,
Scotty did chairman.
There is no first chair,
and
second
he's got
chair.
a chairman yet.
There's no first chair, second chair.
Okay.
Yeah. That'll be determined at the highway meeting.
Okay, that's right, sorry. Jumped
Okay,
ahead.
so first one is Scotty. Do I have any other nominations? Do I have any other nominations? Do I have any other nominations?
I'll move to close nominations and cast a unanimous ballot.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Scotty, next one, Chair 2,
I
nominate Carl Crawl. Carl Crawl. Is there any other nominations? Any other nominations? Is there any other nominations? Somebody say with that?
I'll make a motion to cast, to close nominations and cast a unanimous ballot for Carl Crowe.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion. Okay, third seat on the
I
highway.
nominate Pat Hansen.
Is there any other nominations? Is there any other nominations? Is there any other nominations?
Make a motion to have a vote for Pat Hansen.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries.
I will nominate Bill Thomas.
Is there any other nominations? Is there any other nominations? Is there any other nominations?
I move to close nominations and cast unanimous ballot.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Last one.
I'd like to nominate Tanner Giller.
Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations?
I move that we close nominations and cast a unanimous
Nominate
ballot for Tanner.
Good. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next one we'll move on to is, election of the Extension Agricultural Committee. I have a nomination.
I'll nominate Bill Thomas.
Any other nominations? Any other nominations?
I'll move to close nominations and cast a unanimous ballot for Bill Thomas.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Second one,
I'll nominate Jamie Francis.
any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations?
I move that we close nominations and cast a unanimous ballot for Jamie Francis.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. For the third seat,
I nominate Doug Sports.
any other nominations? Any other nominations? Is there any other nominations?
I move to close nominations and cast unanimous ballot for Doug Schwartz.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Fourth seat,
I make a motion to nominate Roxanne Luchin.
any other nominations? Any other nominations? Is there any other nomination?
I'll move to close nominations and cast a unanimous ballot for Roxanne.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And the last seat,
Is there one more seat? There's 5 here too.
there's 5 seats.
Is there?
I'll nominate Paul Muller.
There is 5 seats, you're right. Where's the 5 seats on the extension?
Or is there 4?
That's what it said in my book.
Is there 5?
We had 4.
Who was?
You had 4? Good.
But it says 5 in the handbook?
And that orange thing, that orange one was wrong.
Wasn't Brandon on it? And we just
No.
No?
The only one I had is me, Kurt Wolf, Carl Quell, and Tanner Hiller.
Okay, that's what we're going with. Okay, we need to approve the minutes of March 26, 2024 as presented. I got a motion by Pat,
Full support.
seconded by Carl. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that passed. Communications, you got any?
Just real quick, in your packets, the big envelope, that's from the Wisconsin Counties Association. It has a couple different things and it also has a county officials handbook. It's very beneficial. I've also spoken with Andy Phillips and Sarah from the Counties Association, and they would like to come up and do a review with us as far as proper procedures for board, how to run things, what your job really entails. I don't know if you can kind of come up with a date that would work, maybe next month, May or June, when everybody can meet so that they can come up. They'd like to know that as soon as possible so that we can get that moving.
How long is the presentation?
That we
Hour,
don't-
half hour?
I'm assuming it'd be an hour.
I also want to make sure it's an informational meeting, and that they don't, like, say or make us do stuff. I would say like we're gonna approve the Robert Rules of Order, but we don't stand up like we're supposed to do stuff like that.
You should.
There's one thing, we need some information, make sure we're doing things right, but we don't have to be by the book. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes when you have people come up, they kind of try to take over, so I don't think they're like that.
I think
They're
it's
just gonna
important.
meet.
Yeah, just review it to make sure we're doing it right, and I think that's a great idea.
I think it's very important that we
Yeah,
get
I
education,
do
so.
I do that at the next board.
Yeah.
We don't have on April 3rd. This
Not
is,
much.
No.
this is not, okay.
Could we do it prior to the next board meeting,
We'll
like
see
have
what
it
he
an
can
hour
come up.
before the next board meeting? That way
I think it'd
everybody
be
can,
probably easier if you can do it like, not on a board meeting night, because I think that would make it right.
Forever.
Yeah. I don't think any of us want that. So, I mean, if someone, if we can all kind of come up with a date that works for everyone and get that to me, that would be appreciative.
We got a lot of new people on this board, and we might as well, and some of us have been here a while, we know if it's been right, so let's all need a little schooling.
Little refresher would
Yes,
be,
a
wouldn't
little
hurt.
refresher wouldn't hurt none of us.
And then, of course, Danny gave you all the emails. They're county emails. Please use them and not your personal emails. I know a lot of you have done that in the past, but technically you're susceptible to open meeting laws. So if anything were to ever come back, then all your personal information becomes open record. And I don't think anybody wants that. So if you can start using that Iron County email, that would be great. So that's all I have.
I got a couple of things on communications, number 17, our corporate council here. I know a few of the people on this board have been dealt with corporate council and some of the things we think we may not have got enough information on it. Or we just want to look at some other corporate councils. A lot of the people around here are with the townships and cities and stuff, and it'd be a conflict of interest. So I asked Roxanne as a lawyer, asked Roxanne if she would help me with this and find us a couple of lawyers maybe to look at. It's up to you, it's just number 17, but I think a change would be good for us. It's up to you.
I'd have to agree with that statement.
When we get there, I'll make a motion. Another thing I want to talk about is the committees, like your committees, I'll hand them out at the end of the meeting. And committees are going to become very important because I'm not going to be here 24/7 to run this county. I don't feel that I have to be here all the time. I'll pick up this phone 24/7, but I don't feel I have to be here. So what committees bring to this board is very crucial that everybody gets all the information. So your committee chairs, when they report, when we need a county board, it should happen. And sometimes they miss stuff too. I missed something 2 meetings ago. I didn't tell this committee we hired somebody and somebody caught it. So if you're here and even though you ain't the chair and you think there's something pertinent, the rest of this board should know, so say, by the way, you missed this, maybe you should know that.
I make a recommendation that at the end of every committee, that there's an agenda item, a standing agenda item on every one, that there's a board report items, that they actually create a list at the end of the meetings. That would be part of the process for every committee, and that way you do not miss it.
I just,
I'll second that. I don't know if that's a motion, but
It wasn't a motion, it was
I
a
want
recommendation.
everybody to- you don't have to read out the minutes, but make sure that you don't
Yep.
miss nothing.
What are those pieces that are critical that needs to get back to
So
this
it's kind of a
board?
recap of the meeting you just had, 5 bullet points. of what
Yeah.
happened.
That's usually what the report is.
Yep, yep. That's all I got for now. I'm gonna try to have a meeting with the department heads on Thursday at 10 o'clock, if that's possible. You are all welcome to come. We got that.
Murph, the only thing I have is at the airport, it's a little different circumstance as far as bringing in good information. I should bring them here, but I don't get the minutes at the end of the meeting.
Okay.
They're not rolled up until after, well, we had a secretary, Brandon Woods, secretary for the airport. But he's no longer with us, so whoever ends up out there, it's gonna be,
It'll be up to them. That's good
Well,
with that.
the secretary usually does the minutes. But we don't usually get them, just bring back what we have in our own paper.
That'll be fine. You do a good presentation when you talk to us about the airport back. I'm pretty much up to speed. And that's all I got on communication. You know, I need a motion to adopt the Robert Rules of Order.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, motion, or a
I'll
second?
second.
All in favor?
I,
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Designation of the official county depository. Need a motion?
What is it?
So that's.
Into where we do our banking.
Is it our, sort of stuck to that?
Chippewa Valley.
I think our CDs are.
do we bid that out every so often, every 5 years or anything
We
like that?
did, and then we
Yeah.
just switched from there, and they've been very, very good to us. They have been. Yeah, been good to us for about 5 years ago. Yeah, we moved away from early banking, you know, that. I don't know if I got bid every 5 years or not, but we just made a change 5 years ago.
Does anybody know if we're required by public bidding statutes to bid that one every 5 to 7 years, like most municipalities?
Yeah, we don't know.
I think what it's been kind of a scenario, and it's been probably 8 to 10 years, maybe. It's been
Been a while.
It's
Yes,
been a scenario where we weren't happy with Associated the last time that we did it, and we were looking for a change. So,
So does this require us to only bank with them? We can't put our money anywhere else? We can't get loans anywhere else?
that has been the process.
I
Typically,
don't
that's the
know.
way it works.
Yeah.
with
I
municipalities.
oppose.
I oppose that too.
I think we have to have all
You want us to
flexibility
say-
on the table to solve the problem that we have in front of us. And you can't lock yourself into one financial institution. That's different than saying our primary depository is Chippewa Valley Bank, which is fine.
Do you want
But
to
to
take?
lock,
Well, it's kind, that's.
but to
you
lock
can do
yourself
that.
in and say, this is the only person I can bank with, that's really tying our hands.
I don't know that.
I
I'm
mean,
not
that's why
sure
I'm
about that
asking.
second part of it. I mean, they have provided us with the rates that we were looking for, and I
Very good.
think we may have farmed it out to other people for some of the things like the Saxon Harbor loan and some of those other things.
Do you want to table this till we get more?
Just
I-
says
I think we
depository,
need-
so
I'd want to table this until we make a determination of really what the regulations are, number one. If it's a primary, that's the only place we can do our banking. Because I agree with Kurt that we need to have that flexibility to put our money where we're going to actually make money with our revenue that we're bringing in.
I got a motion, do I have a motion to table it? I got a second.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
I-
Anybody opposed? Motion carried. Designation in the official county newspaper.
County minor.
I got a motion for the minor, I got a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Designate the day and time for the county board meetings. Anybody have a problem with what we've been doing?
Last Tuesday of the month at
It's been
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. 23rd, the last Tuesday of the month. I don't, that's why, and everything's on the table now, guys.
I make a motion, we keep it at 6 o'clock the last Tuesday of the month.
It's kind of late in the, is
I
it
like
possible to move it up? Could we move it up
I mean,
an
even if
hour?
it's just a half hour, but I mean, it does make a huge difference. Just my suggestion. Yeah, no, it's great.
It's hard for those of us to work out of town to get here on time. I mean, there's a handful of us that aren't retired that it's a struggle. I could be coming from Superior. I've come from all over the Midwest to get back here, and the later in the evening, the better for myself. That's all I'm saying.
And you have a problem at 6 o'clock. And that can way it gives the people in the county, if they work too and they wanna come here and say something else, because they're dying to come here.
Exactly right.
I'll second Bill's motion.
All right, all in favor, we're gonna go at 6, all right? All in
Aye.
favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Number 17, designate the corporate council.
Make a motion to table this.
Got a motion to table the corporate
I'll
council.
second.
Got a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. Roxanne, you're gonna help me with that, right? Thank you very much.
Yes.
Committee, department heads, and chairman's report. Do we have anything reports? You're here last one, or last week? Anybody have a meeting? You gave most of our.
Finance.
We had finance,
Alright.
yeah, and really the only thing, on the finance, there's a discussion of generator at the we didn't know.
Yeah,
If it was the senior center or the community center in Mercer, they were looking for a $5,000 match, whether or not we could take it out of COVID money. But again, we waited on that because we didn't have a formal request as to where it was
Where it was going.
and where it was going and that sort of stuff. We heard from Stacy from Emergency Management for fire number signs for Cary and Gurney. That cost was going to be $4,827. That is paid by the towns, and Stacy was going to put them up. The company that had been putting them up over the last number of years didn't have any, because it's such a small amount of people in those two towns that he couldn't get them to come up here and put them up. So he was going to do it himself and be reimbursed by the towns. We have on the agenda today about the phase 1 update, and then talk about phase 2 a little bit from Kurt. So he's going to present that here. And I think the last part of it was we have on number 21, approval of a new custodial hire to replace somebody that had been retired.
Anybody else have a meeting since?
We didn't have a meeting with for zoning, but I just met with Jerry, and then we have one of the longest meetings coming up that we've had in the history since I've been on board. We have a 4-page agenda.
Wow.
And the stack is like this with applications.
For building stuff, that's good, that sounds good, Pat. That really does. That's good to hear. People are building. Anybody else got anything?
Bill, did we have a meeting last week or?
Yes, we did. There's nothing. The only problem we got is I had trouble over the weekend. We had a couple parties in the bowling alley. There was water coming up through the floor drains. It wasn't sewer water, all clear. The bill, thinks he got everything taken care of. I got Bo Youngs to go down there today or yesterday to put a camera down there and find out if there's some old tiles that broke or something. The only thing I'm worried about is Vietnam Veteran Steak Feed coming up on the 27th. I hope everything's taken care of.
Is this for the memorial building? Is that the memorial building
Yeah.
meeting? Okay, wasn't sure.
And you think the city guys were on it too, right?
No,
Okay.
they know. I called Tito, Gary Laguna.
Other than that, it was a pretty short meeting, actually. The issue we found out about.
We did hire a new janitor too, but we pay for that, so I'm not gonna.
Okay, if there's no other thing, anybody got any public comment? Any public comment? Well, no, I'll say in public comment, I'm looking around this room, and there's just one of the best. Everybody here knows everything, but each of us have the skill set.
Tim Dean is our corporate.
Only the fairground committee to discuss the loan for the new stage. Everybody here from the fair committee, you know.
Yeah, we're looking at building a new stage and possibly getting a loan for the stage and for stalls for the first barn. So that's, it's not for sure yet, but I guess just with the blessing of the board, that we pursue a loan through the Chippewa Valley. It's a general obligation loan, Chippewa Valley, at an interest rate of 4.75 for 10 years.
You didn't say the amount.
We don't know yet. It could be, we're looking at possibly around 40,000. But we still haven't gotten prices for the building.
You need the insurance for the other one,
That was the grandstand is the other one. Yeah, everything on the fair grounds is taken care of. Everything's so, yeah, that building, we've got some other remodeling we want to do in the future. We have a lot of, like this summer, water lines, electric lines, but it's all volunteer basis, for that, so.
So who's retained, what is the money come from the retained?
To repay the loan. We get storage money from, this year we're just a little over $30,000 in storage from campers, boats, that kind of things. And then last year we had actually had two good vans, and we got pretty good revenue coming in from that. But that's out of our own account that we have for the fair.
So if it's a general obligation, the county's guaranteed to pay. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a general obligation.
Yeah, otherwise we have to go that way, or else we have to have something for collateral. But how do you do that?
That's our stuff.
Yeah,
It's the county's stuff.
So are you saying then it's sort of a pass-through for the county where you reimburse the county and the county is just the sponsor of your loan?
Yeah,
Am
I
I
guess that's.
understanding that better?
That's all right, guys.
So does the fairgrounds have financial statements?
Yeah.
So you're getting a 10-year loan. What's the cash flow on the fairgrounds?
There was a update that we got a few months back with all the money generated by the fair. Yes, the money generated by the fair and by the storage and what they pay out. There was a full financial statement that was given to us, I
Yeah, we
believe, 4 or 5 months ago.
October or something.
I don't know if they actually gave us the physical copy of it, but was it Christina Austin?
Gave
Was
us
that?
Yep.
She gave us a.
is it something that we need more information on? So maybe seeing what the revenue generated from and what your bank statement says, and to know if this is a pass-through through the county or if this is an outright county obligation.
Or do you actually?
I'm not sure.
Oh, that's what we want.
I think it's a good idea. We have a lot of new members on. I'll do that. We get the written copy of the financials. There's a lot of people who haven't seen them or that weren't here when they made the presentation a while back. So, I mean, this is something we can maybe get that. And then a lot of people need to get updated on how the county actually supports the fair too, and what our obligations are. Okay, there's a chunk of money every year that goes towards it.
Like 20,000.
Right, yeah, it's like 20,000. So I think that would help everybody if we can see that.
Yeah, we can, next meeting have on the agenda, have
Yeah. Talk to somebody, I agree. There's a lot of, we got 3 board members and 3 that were. And the ones that are here need a refresher. What do you want to do, table that, or what are we doing?
Yes,
I have a motion to
I'm
table
making
it.
a motion to table that until we have more information to make a good determination.
I'll second.
That sounds great.
Need a motion on that, anything else to discuss?
Yeah.
All in favor of that?
I,
Opposed? Number 21, the discussion and approve hire of custodial staff. Our clean lady retired and Lisa Zanella, part-time. And now she's gonna do this, but she's still gonna be part-time, right? Tom? We give her a starting wage of, starting with our, right? She accepted it. I also want to say too that she's a custodial staff. She's very thorough. She's a good one. I guess she's a while, but on the other hand too, she's not a maid. Okay, if your garbage is full of stuff, don't change your maid. You can just clean it up. Fair enough. We're gonna motion to hire the custodial staff.
So moved. I'll support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Alright, that carries. Okay, Kurt, floor is yours. Number 22, discuss the
So your handout is, just got sent out this morning, so. So for the new members on the board, the board's been having some discussions on its budget. We opened the budget back in February, decided not to rely on carbon credit revenue. We had about $2.4 million in it, so we've been trying to work through, with the deficit that's occurred. We went through something called phase 1 the last couple months. The department has got together, some other people. We made a number of changes, but we still have a budget gap, probably in the $1.25 million range. Last year, our cash declined 1.3 million, went from 4.3 million down to a little under 3. And, so this is what we have to address. What I would like to do in phase 2 is get board input and get information gathering. And so I put this together. And because we have a number of new members, I'm thinking we might hold a couple different kind of budget workshops to have a conversation and allow board members to start coming up with ideas, because at the end of the day, we have to solve this problem. And I have some ideas, but I want to get everybody else's input before we go through and do that. So the overview kind of recaps where we are to date and what happened. Under the information gathering, it lists out some questions that I think people need to think about. on the back of it, there's a 2-page schedule. The first column talks about the levy ask, what I define as levy ask is direct revenues less the budget for that property, for that property. Second column is the phase 1 changes that were made. The third column is blank, and really that's what we all have to do and look at and come up with ideas to fix. And the fourth column is the total, and if you look at the end of that, you can see that we still have a budget deficit in the range of $1,250,000. So I listed out a number of things to consider that I think everybody's got to consider. How much is this solution is taxes, how much is services, what ideas, out of box ideas we got, how do we do it? And everybody ought to come, I think everybody ought to come with ideas on how we're going to close the remaining portion of that budget gap as we start rolling into next year. What I would like to do, well, and I think I need your input by May 6th, which is Monday, because I think the next finance meeting is the 10th, and what I'd like to do is gather input from people and start generating a working list that the finance committee and the board can start talking about, kind of vetting as we kind of work through the solution. So it's a pretty short time frame, but it's a short time frame because we're losing $125,000 a month. We've gone through 4 months of this year and we've lost $500,000. And every month we continue to wait, we're going to continue to lose money because we've authorized all our departments to go ahead and spend their budgets. Right now we have a gap. And I think it's got to get addressed. I think it's serious. I think most everybody agrees it's got to get addressed. So that's what I would like to do, is to have a budget reconciliation workshop. I'm guessing that has to get posted and open to the public. I have no problem with that. But I think it would be good to have maybe one in Mercer, one up here, or something like that. You can kind of split it up a little bit and have no decisions are made, we're just talking. But I think you need to do that to give some background to some of the new people on why we're in the position we're in, what happened, a little bit about some of the departments that are listed on the schedule. I'll share whatever I can with what I've learned in the last several months. But I'd like to do that soon, like the week of the 30th. What kind of posting do we have to get on that? Just 24 hours.
You need 20 at least.
Yeah, so the agenda is simply going to be budget workshop or budget reconciliation workshop. And I'll come with some information, but I'm really looking for every one of you to come with your ideas. We can start generating a list of how we're going to solve it. So that's what I would like to do for phase 2. And what I think what we could do is send out a email to people on what's a good date that week of the 30th. And I'm willing to do 2 or 3 of them. Like I said, one could be in Mercer, one could be up here, one could be at a odd time for those people still working yet. But that's what any questions on that or any comments? Yep.
I just have some newbie questions.
Yep.
Have we done basic stuff like looked at our overtime and tried to keep that to a minimum so we reduce the drain? Have we, I heard at the last, was it the special meeting and the finance meeting, I can't remember which, somebody said that we got the 2.6 million of FEMA money that we've been waiting for. So are we gonna pay off a good portion of that loan at least so we stop the drain of that interest expense? I mean, are we looking at those kind of things already?
Eric, where'd that check go?
To the treasurer's office.
Right
After
now,
that,
it's in the money market account, waiting for direction on.
Yeah, I think at the next finance meeting, that's got to be definitely a topic on what finance recommends to do, because it's probably sitting in the money market for 2%.
And it would be nice to know what our overtime is per department. Could we get a report from that in regards to overtime? And bring that to finance too?
I'm having- Yeah, I'll tell the department, I'll be one of the things I tell them. Anything else after this meeting, if you're not gonna attend meetings, the department heads tell me, I'll bring up. One of you, even on the phone, what's going on, there's a lot of people here. Some of these boards, when they meet, I want the department heads to explain to them what that board does, 'cause they ain't gonna know. Some of us have lost track of what the board, that the committee did, it would be nice to have a refresher. So I'll find it out for you, Karen. I'll ask them.
I think the
I think
overtime,
overtime went down a lot more because we got some people. That was a part of it, say 10 years ago, Scotty will tell you, we were leaving overtime, so we hired some people to knock it down.
yeah, but it's still good to keep track of that,
Yeah.
and it actually should be tracked constantly. So, and shared on a regular basis.
I just want to say something to you, if that was here that this ain't a business, this is a county, it's kind of one of those big different.
Understand, but there's also a lot of departments that are 8 to 5 type of jobs. So, and you have to understand how those, how it's being managed. What else, Roxanne?
The other thing that came to mind, and this is just from years of being the head of finance type of job, do we track vacancy savings such as, when you've got an open position that is unfilled, essentially that's budget dollars that are not being used, assuming you're not hiring temporary help, right? Do we track any of that vacancy savings to see if and how do we know, even with what you were just saying, how do we know that, all right, we've got 4 months or 3 months, let's say 3 months, 3 months of the budget is done, how much have we already spent? How are we tracking? So is there any way we can look at that just to see, are we tracking against budget?
Yeah, there's a budget comparison.
Okay, so finance.
But it's very difficult.
These are all newbie questions.
Very difficult because certain monies come in at different times and
Yeah.
it shows deficits where you're told, we have been told that money is coming in and we had talked about a different type of,
But payroll expenses generally are not. what
oh,
we
no,
look
no,
at.
not
Payroll
that's
would be
where
good,
it's
but
at.
it's I think the biggest area we gotta really focus on is generating cash from the balance sheet. Accrual, receivables, liabilities. That's what allows you to project cash flow and see where you're going.
Right.
And quite frankly, we don't have that.
So what I hear you saying is that we think what our actual cash is. Do we reconcile that to the bank statements? We know what our actual cash is?
Not to the general ledger.
So the
But we
report,
can take the bank statement, you can take the bank statement, say treasurer's office said there was this many receipts, or issued this many checks, deduct the outstanding checks, confirm that bank statement makes sense.
so we have a good idea of what our cash is, I
Yeah,
think is
yeah.
what you're hearing.
Yeah, there's a treasurer's report that gets done, gets reconciled to the bank statement. But the next step in that is your general ledger.
Right.
That we're not, but there's a lens.
Sarah does a very good job.
Thank
For
And then-
20 Yeah, she's been here 29 years.
She knows what's going on.
She's been at college, she knows what's going on.
you.
Okay, all right, but I'll vote for her. I will. Anything else?
Well, I would just like to say, I think that you were so good. Can you send out an email? Can I do that? Just send an email, just get dates or.
Please send an email to get these from us. With
She's got a folder here, so I'll send some out tomorrow, we'll get a consensus on a couple of meeting dates. And, not think. Start the process, so I'll send that out.
Anything else? Well, thank you, Kurt, you got a lot of time for this. Probably appreciate Okay, number 23, is everything covered on this agenda? I'll call this meeting adjourned. You got your thing. Turn them on.